I was able to find this free mower by using an app on my phone, and to be honest, I thought I was pretty lucky to get it. The community of people like me who pick up free stuff like this is massive and very competitive. The only problem is that you can never be sure exactly what you're going to pick up. In fact, I think we picked something up that someone gave up on, so hopefully we don't do the same thing. In today's video, we're going to be looking at this Honda mower. And the problem is that I'm guessing it's not going to start because it's in several pieces. Hopefully they give us all the parts it took off, otherwise this won't be fun to put back together. Now, to be honest, when I saw the ad for this mower, I didn't study the pictures very well, but in my defense, they didn't mention it would be like this either. So I guess now that it's here, we better get a good look at it and see just how bad it is, because this looks pretty rough. So from what we can see, the left rear wheel is the one that's off the mower and is conveniently sitting on top of it, while one of the front wheels is being held in place with broken hopes and dreams, but the biggest problem is of course the carb. So why take off the entire intake system and then just leave it in pieces? Your guess is as good as mine, because it doesn't make any sense to me. But if I had to make a guess, I think they realized they were going to spend too much time and money on the repair. And by what all was taken off, one of these items was the straw that broke the camel's back and forced them to give up on it. That means part of the repair will be to figure out what that item was, but it might be tougher than we think to find out. But then again, we all have different skill levels when it comes to repairing stuff, so for you, it might not even be an issue. But for someone else, it's something that stops the project right there and then ends up on the curb as a free item. So there is some gasoline in the fuel tank, and that means we can sample it since the carb is not installed onto the engine. And as you can tell, the gasoline looks just like it should, but with a tinge of color, which shouldn't affect how the engine starts and runs. But if the gasoline was a dark color, maybe like tea or apple juice, it would explain why it wouldn't start. There's also plenty decent looking oil in the engine, so I guess we'll prime the engine with some fuel and try starting it and see what happens. And as you just heard, the engine started and run for a couple of seconds, which means it's not worn out and is great news. So I guess the reason why they gave up on this mower was not because it was worn out. After trying the electric start feature, it unfortunately didn't work, so it might have a battery problem, but I doubt that's a good reason to give up on a mower. And while examining the blade for damage, turns out there's quite a few gouges on the cutting edge, but it doesn't seem to be a problem yet. However, while testing the drive gear, that's when we see a very good reason to give up on this mower. Apparently this wheel came off the mower, not by choice but by accident, because the bolt holding it to the mower is broken. Now we can't be certain when the wheel came off the mower, either before or after the carb problem, but this would definitely put a stop to your mowing. But to fix this, we'll have to get out the remainder of the last bolt, and drilling it would make the most sense. But with some luck, the bolt came loose, which was something I was not expecting. After that, we then ran a tap through the opening just to make sure the threads aren't damaged, since we're not sure why this bolt broke off in the first place. But if we didn't do this, we could just end up in the same situation as before after installing our new bolt. But after using our tap, our used bolt now easily threads into the opening, so I guess we can install a used wheel. We also had to replace that wheel since the one that came off this machine was missing part of the bearing. But if we didn't have a parts machine available, this project would have required some new parts, which may not be cheap. But after getting the mower back on its wheels, we're now able to push it around a lot easier than before. And once we fixed our mobility problem, I think it's time to take a stab at the carb problem. However, I'm going to install it first. Now you might be wondering why we don't just clean the carb before we install it, and that's because I want to see if there's a problem with it. This is the part of the repair where some are not going to agree with this move, trying to test it as is to understand why. But the curious part of me has to know why they took this apart, and doing it this way might help to understand it. But if I were you, I would just clean the carb now while it's off the engine. And yes, I guess we could just replace it too. However, without knowing if it has a problem, replacing it now might be a bit unneeded, not until we try it out. Now luckily for us, it looks like every nut, bolt, gasket, and insulator was with the loose parts, so we should be able to put it back together. But I will tell you, having to source any of these missing parts can be a real pain, so I'm quite happy not to have to deal with that. And for anyone that has never had to try to stab the carb and airbox onto this engine before, well, you're in for a real treat. So here's our first real major problem, and that is the threads for the left bolt is not catching. Now we are going to have to deal with it pretty soon, but right now we're going to try and start the engine. And as you just saw and heard, this engine does run, but it's surging where it can't hold a constant speed, but at least it starts and runs. So I'm guessing the mower was running when the wheel broke off, and while it was down, they decided to take care of the carb. That is my best guess, but it could be the other way around, but we'll never know. So the plan right now is to give it a quick spray and rinse and then tackle each problem until we get it working again. Now this mower wasn't too bad when it comes to being dirty, however, if we're going to open up the carb, I like for it to be clean. That way, we don't risk getting dirt inside either the carb or the engine. Now of course you don't have to do this, but I would recommend that you be careful when working on the machine if you don't do it. So as you saw earlier, this engine does have electric start, which is something I've never had on a Honda before, so I'm looking forward to getting it working again. But I will say that the starter motor on this engine looks like a very nice unit in comparison to the domestic brands. But if I had to guess, I think the battery is dead, which is bad news because if left like that for a long time, it means we'll have to replace it. Next comes the fun part of taking off the part we just installed, which is the carb. Now we know the carb works, but it's not working good enough, so we need to see what might be wrong with it. But I will let you know, there could be two possible reasons for the surging. Both have to do with making sure openings in the jets are as clear as possible. That means we need to get to the jets and either confirm that they are clear visually or with other means. One jet is underneath this Phillips head bolt on top of the carb, while the other one is buried inside the carb, requiring us to drop the fuel bowl to see it. Now the one inside the carb is the main fuel jet, and to get it out, you need to use a very good flathead screwdriver. It also needs to be as wide as the slot in the jet because if it's not, you could damage the brass the jet is made out of. So here's the main fuel jet, and this is the spot where fuel is regulated as it enters the middle part of the carb. This opening is sized in such a way that it allows the carb to work well with the engine. That means when we clean it, try not to alter the original size of the opening, otherwise you could cause too much fuel to make it into the engine, which might cause it to run poorly. And to be honest, after the cleaning, there is no difference in the opening, which means we'll have to look at other places for the problem. So here is the emulsion tube where fuel and air mix, and as you guessed, these tiny openings will need to be cleared as well. And the easiest way to do that is to spray cleaner through a short piece of hose that's connected to the tube. Now you can spray as much as you want, but since we were able to see the cleaner pass through all the openings, we know that it's clear. And now that we know the main fuel jet is clear, we need to look at the other one which is underneath this bolt. So here's what was hiding under the bolt, and as you can see, it's another jet that we need to make sure is clear. The problem is that we'll need an extremely thin piece of wire to do it, however most won't have one that small. So in that case, what I like to do instead is to push cleaner through the right side opening in the carb. That'll essentially clear the jet, and you'll know it because of the spray of cleaner coming out of the jet. Now that we know the jet is clear, we'll then put that bolt back into the carb and also put the carb back together. I hope you don't consider the work we did to the carb all that difficult, but if you did, then you might want to consider replacing the carb instead. I know how frustrating it can be to try and get these carbs working again, and that's coming from someone who's done it before. So don't be embarrassed if that's what you want to do, if only to save time or just to avoid a nasty headache. Now if you have special tools like an ultrasonic cleaner, that'll make it a bit less tedious. However, most of you watching aren't going to have one, but you really don't need it. But I will let you know that the cost for one has come down in the past couple of years. So if you intend on doing this kind of work a couple of times a week, it should pay for itself in no time. So to fix the thread problem, we really need to install a helicoil, but that's going to take a few days for it to show up. So in the meantime, we clean the threads on the bolt and the threads in the head using our tap and die set. Now this is not a permanent fix, this is just to see if we can get that other bolt tight enough to avoid having an air leak at the carb. In fact, I'm only hoping to get about half as much clamping force on the carb and not much else. But that'll be a whole lot more than what we had before when the bolt wasn't even getting tight, so I'll gladly take it. And as you just heard, that bolt was able to catch, but that was with the drill's clutch set to the lowest possible setting, but I'm just happy it worked at all. And after checking for any fuel leaks from the carb, I guess we'll see if the engine is still surging. So the engine's been running for several minutes and it should be good and hot. Let's see how it starts back up. So the good news is that the engine had no issues starting back up when hot. There's also no surging, which is great news. However, the engine was lightly smoking, which is not what we want to see. But the biggest concern is that the drive is not working well while the wheels are on the ground. Now there are a few things we can do to try to make the drive system work better, one of which is to try and adjust the lever. But the other way is to adjust the cable at this coupling, which has worked for us in the past, but we'll have to deal with that when we have a little bit more time. And in the meantime, we're going to wait for the helicoil kit to show up, that way we won't have to worry about a loose carb. I'm also very interested in getting the key start working again, since this will be my first experience with this system, so I'm eager to see how it compares to the systems I've worked on in the past. But then again, we need to deal with the problems one at a time, otherwise it'll overwhelm us and all that fun will be gone. So my question is, have you ever used a mower while it was surging? I hate to admit it, but I have, but that was also a long time ago. Thank you for watching. I really do appreciate your time here. Please feel free to ask me any questions about this project or your own projects, and I'll see you next time.